fact about myself.
I guess it doesn't have to be fun, but just strange.
I want it to be. I'm trying to think of something kind of like witchy-ish.
Something that
You
relates. Well,
know.
mine's not really related, but I can go first and give you some more time to
Okay,
think
go
about it.
first.
So, the strange fact that I came up with, and this was actually something that I haven't thought about in so long, but it used to like ruin my life when I was younger. It was such a pain in the ass, and it always came at like the worst times. I used to get spontaneous nosebleeds when I was younger,
I
and
remember that.
I have no idea what really caused it or like what made it go away, but I haven't had a spontaneous nosebleed in decades.
Yeah, I know. I remember. I remember like we would always wake up and like your pillowcase would be covered in blood. And actually my youngest used to get nosebleeds.
Whoa,
And
really?
I was wondering if she had got it from you, but she hasn't gotten one in a while actually.
I definitely got it from dad because dad would get random nosebleeds,
Oh yeah, that's
but
true. He did.
he always just kind of had them, you know?
Yeah, just always. And he would just like stick some toilet paper up his nose or a tissue or paper towel or whatever, and then he would just go
Exactly.
on with his life.
And here I am, like at school, and then like my nose starts bleeding. I have to go to the bathroom, right? And I'm like using that hard ass brown like paper
Oh my
towel to
gosh, the
like
paper
shove up my
towel
nose,
that
and
doesn't soak up
it
anything.
doesn't do a damn thing. It's like dripping down the sides, the crevices of like that paper
That
that's up my
sucks.
nose. Anytime that happens, they just freak the fuck out. They're like, "Oh my god, are you okay? Are you dying?" Like it doesn't hurt or anything like that. It's just really inconvenient, and at first you don't notice it because it's your body temperature, so it feels like snot. And so I just wipe it with
Oh
my hand,
yeah,
and then I
that's
notice the
true.
crimson across my arm, right, or across my hand.
Yeah.
So, God, I fucking hated having those damn nosebleeds. And I would try like everything to like get it to stop. Sometimes, those little tricks would work, like holding your head back, pinching the bridge of your nose, all that stuff. Sometimes it would just keep going. Like I'd be there for like 10, 15
Oh my
minutes.
gosh, that's horrible. Trying to staunch the flow somehow.
There's like a certain point where I'm like, am I just gonna bleed out from this? Like what the fuck? So I'm so glad that I don't get that anymore. And I have no idea what changed. Like it was just after high school, I guess. I just never had to worry about it again.
That's good.
So weird.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
For me, that was normal, but I recognize that for anyone else, that just doesn't happen. Some people have gone their whole life without getting a nosebleed.
Okay, I think I'll give two just because I feel like one is not that interesting, but it's sort of witchy, I guess.
Okay.
I feel like this could be anybody, so maybe it's not that interesting. So, which is why I was going to give you.
Hmm.
Well, the first one is that I feel like I can like, in a way, kind of like sense when something bad's going to happen.
Whoa.
Because there have been a couple times where something bad has happened to me, and like earlier in that day, I would just get super duper nervous. My stomach's in knots. Like not just like I'm about to speak in front of a big crowd nervous, but like way worse than that. Like obviously like something horrible is about to happen, right?
Yeah.
So like that happened to me the day that I got in my car accident in 2021, for example. So now I'll just like if I start getting nervous for no reason whatsoever, I just start being like really, really careful. Like I drive really safely. Like I'll take back streets. Even like walking or something. Like I'll like be super aware of my surroundings. So and I'll tell people like I'll tell my husband or whatever like just be really careful. And I don't know what made me do this. I don't I didn't want to get lost or like it was in a shady area or something. But I had printed up a MapQuest map
MapQuest,
because
shout out.
that's how it goes,
Hell
right?
yeah.
And then I my boyfriend at the time went with me. So like we're following this map and I was like, "Oh, I think it's over here." I was like, "Oh, pull into this parking lot. I think it's across the street." So like my plan I guess was like pull into this parking lot and just like look across the street and like take my time and make sure it was there, like not have to like rush and look around and be like, "Oh, that may have been it." And then now the light's green and we have to go, right?
Okay.
This parking lot was on a corner, so there was an intersection. We're facing the street that we were just on, and at the intersection it was a red light, and at the intersection was a large white truck. And then all of a sudden, another similarly large white pickup truck comes full speed and plows into the back of that pickup truck
Damn, where you were previously.
where we were before we turned into that parking lot. And so I was like, you know what? Like, we would have been like wedged underneath the back of the truck. The truck hit the other truck with such force that the truck went all the way across the intersection from a dead stop.
Holy shit.
We would have died,
Yeah.
you know?
Are you ready? Shall we start the episode?
Finally.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Aflixionados podcast, episode 55. We're available wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes dropping on the first Saturday of each month, 5 a.m. Pacific. If you enjoy our content, please consider giving us a like. All of our social accounts, including Blue Sky, are bundled together for you in our link tree. My name is Eric, and the other voice occupying your head this time is a devoted mother of three, lab geek, comic nerd, retired emo, HBIC, tourist, my sister and co-host, Stephanie.
I wonder how much longer it's going to get every time.
It's getting there. It's almost like its own paragraph.
Seriously, someday it's going to take longer than the rest of the intro.
Here on Aflixionados podcast, we mainly talk about films that range from mind-numbing to mind-blowing. We also cover TV shows and other forms of media. We will be getting into spoilers here, and there will be only the healthiest amount of expletives tossed in. You have been warned. If you ain't ready, then get ready, because in this episode, we will be discussing the American supernatural teen horror film The Craft, released in 1996, directed by Andrew Fleming.
Fleming.
I want to see how long it would take for you to get that.
Directed by my husband. I was actually looking at it when you said it. So, but you know, there is a Mike Flanagan.
There is.
You know, that does all the great horror stuff.
Fuse them together.
My father-in-law, who would never actually watch any of the stuff that Mike Flanagan makes.
You don't think so?
Heck no, he's not into horror stuff, especially not good horror stuff. He watches westerns and Fox News.
Probably would have gotten along with Dad. They could bond over some westerns.
Yeah, they did meet once or twice before, you know, Dad passed.
Yeah.
But Dad would not have agreed with him politically.
Oh, I see. Politics aside, you know, some John Wayne, some Clint Eastwood.
Oh yeah. Oh, they would have definitely bonded over that stuff.
So, I kind of want to start off with just the background of the film. This movie kind of had mixed reviews from critics when it first came out, but it actually ended up being a surprise hit at the box office, and of course has since gained a cult following. A lot of people love this movie.
And the soundtrack.
Great soundtrack. I'm definitely going to talk
Yes.
about that later. It didn't make the top 10 movies of 1996, but that was a pretty stacked year. And it was going up against films like Independence Day, Twister, and the first Mission Impossible. So those are some big hitters.
What a good year. Yeah, seriously. Some of these movies, which we have covered.
Yeah, that's true.
Apparently there's the Craft Legacy movie in 2020. I totally don't remember.
You haven't
this.
seen that one. Really? That's a Netflix movie, if I recall.
Oh, maybe I'll have to check it out.
I vaguely remember
Even
it.
if it's not good.
I remember it being pretty mid. It kind of felt like a cash grab. Like, it felt like it was just trying to, like, you know, it's coming up on some sort of anniversary or something, and they wanted to do something and kind of play off of that. I don't feel like they had a compelling story to tell.
It's a bummer.
It was just all around, like, whatever.
I'll check it out just two, and then that's it.
So, what initially got you into The Craft? Because for me, I kind of had a morbid curiosity about it. Like, it looked really creepy, but kind of mysterious, and I wanted to see more about like this whole witchcraft thing.
Yeah, well, in 1996, I probably saw it. I mean, I definitely didn't see it in the theater because I was 9. So I probably saw it probably in 1997 when it was on tape, and I'm sure Dad had it. We had it, right, on tape?
I'm pretty sure we had it on VHS, yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. That was the only way we would have been able to see it, because it's not like we were renting it at Blockbuster or something. So we owned it on tape. VHS tape, for those of you who don't know what that is. Do
you remember the box art? The 4 of them walking, and it's like lightning or some shit in the background?
Yeah. So I saw it, I want to say probably 1997 or later. So I was like 10. So I probably just thought it was cool. I thought it was edgy. Cool, and you know, I saw it, and I liked it.
I almost felt like this was kind of like a precursor to your emo phase.
right? Yeah, it's definitely like a goth cult hit, you know?
Hmm.
Like if you're goth, you like the craft.
And you started getting into some edgy stuff. Like I think around this time you were listening to Kitty, right?
A little bit later than that, but
Oh, a
yeah.
little bit later. Okay.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so I watched it, I liked it, but at the time, I don't think if it influenced me, it influenced me a little bit later. Like at the time I was just like, "Oh, it's a good movie."
Hmm.
Um yeah, like it didn't get me interested in witchcraft or anything like that. Like I just it was cool and I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, watching it now, oh, I definitely it brings back some nostalgia, but I still like it now. I mean, there's some stuff where it's just definitely like stuff wouldn't fly. You know that bully bitch. She calls
Oh yeah.
Rochelle a negroid.
Yeah.
I don't like negroids. What? Like no one would ever say that nowadays, right? But I guess that was still. I mean, obviously, racism is still a thing.
Yeah. Back then, everyone was throwing around gay.
Yeah,
They're calling everything gay. So
man, times.
yeah.
Um, But yeah, so basically we have Sarah. I don't know if it says where they moved from, but they're just basically they're moving to like the LA area, right? Isn't it the LA area?
As I understand, Sarah Bailey, played by Robin Tunney, I think the family lives in San Francisco,
Oh,
moving
San
to LA.
Francisco. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they move to LA and it's her father, it's her stepmom, they fly in and they move into this house which looks like a really nice house, but when they first moved in, it's a little beat up and needs a little work, like the roof is
It's
leaking
got
and
character
stuff.
though. Like this thing looks old, but like
It
it looks
does.
like
It's
it's up
really
in the Hollywood
cool.
Hills or some shit.
Yeah, and it looks like it has a pretty cool property, you know,
Hmm.
like a pretty cool yard or whatever. Like it looks like a nice house. It looks like one that I would look at on Zillow and like wish I could afford.
Just do like your virtual walkthrough of it.
Yeah, oh my god, I love doing that. Like I don't actually want these houses because it would be a nightmare to keep clean, but I do like looking at them when they go up for sale. Like there's this one house I was looking at recently.
Uh huh.
It has like 6,000 square feet. It has like 6 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms. It's basically a mansion. It has like an extra house for like a mother-in-law
Right. Right.
house or whatever, like guest house, with its own 2 car garage on top of the 4 car garage that the main house already has. And
And is
then
that in LA or where's that?
no, it's in Riverside, and it's like $2.5 million or something like that, and I want it,
Damn.
but I don't really
God
want it.
damn. 2 mil in
But
Riverside.
if I was rich, I would want it. Seriously. No,
That's
we
crazy.
this area has a lot of like multi-million-dollar houses.
It's just crazy that it's even in the millions being in Riverside because I feel like that's more of like Anaheim Hills. Like you start reaching the low millions, but that's probably like tens of millions now.
Ridiculous. Yeah, so she moves into this house. The roof needs to be fixed, but otherwise it's a really nice house. And the first thing she does is she opens a box and pulls out a picture of her birth mom and puts that on her nightstand.
Mhm.
And then it shows her going to school. And I think her dad's even like, "You don't have to go to school right away."
I mean, let's not forget that some random vagrant shows up and has a
Oh
snake, and he's just
yeah, I
like, "Oh,
forgot
I
about
got this
that.
for you" or whatever.
And like that was the thing is like, how did this guy even like freaking get like their property seems big,
Yeah,
and so he had to like get on their property and then find his way up to the house and the front door, and then he shows up at the freaking front doorstep with a snake. It's like, "I found this for you."
I wonder if
The
he was
hell?
squatting or something. Like maybe he was living there before they moved in.
Maybe. It's funny because I like watching this. She like freaks out and she's like falling back on all the boxes. And she's like, "Dad, Dad!" And then he comes down and he's like, "Get off! You know, get out of here!" And so he runs off. And then he's like, "Sarah, you okay?" And she's like, "I'm fine."
Oh, I'm cool. Why? Why'd you ask?
Yeah,
I feel bad for the snake though. He killed it.
yeah. The snake is he drops the snake before he runs away, and Dad stomps it. So
The snake was just chilling, like it was just minding his own business.
poor snake.
So yeah, like you said, Sarah, she ends up going to school. It doesn't take long before she starts becoming interested in this popular jock character, Chris Hooker, played by Skeet Ulrich.
Yeah, this guy has a distinct look. I feel like he's been some other things
He was also in Scream.
as like the heartthrob. There you go.
Yeah,
That's what it is. Um.
creepy love
Oh,
interest.
another thing though, like I think I was it before that it actually shows the 4 girls.
Around the same time, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, what's her name, Bonnie, is reading their horoscope or something. I don't know if it's like a witch horoscope, but it's basically saying like, oh, that something's gonna come into your life or whatever. And she's like, oh, maybe it's our fourth. Our fourth is coming.
Mm.
And they're like, yeah, right. Like, it could be whatever.
Foreshadowing. Nice.
Yeah. And then, she comes, she's in French and she notices Chris, but not, something that she also does is that she makes the pencil stand up on its own. And at first you're like, okay, whatever. Like maybe somebody could get really lucky and just find the perfect balance point to put this pencil upon its tip. But then, she's not touching it and the pencil's spinning on its own.
Yeah, it's slowly spinning. That was kind of cool.
So Bonnie notices that and she's like, oh my God, it's her. She's our fourth. So she tells the other girls, like, this is her. She's our fourth.
That reaction was kind of corny though. Like it cuts to Bonnie and she's just like,
Yeah, I know.
and I'm like, okay, relax, lady. Damn. Be cool, lady. Damn.
Seriously.
But also, like, who's just like doing magic in the middle of class, and she's surprised that
I
someone
don't think
caught
she
her.
was thinking about it. Like she was just kind of just like subconsciously just messing with his pencil, and then
True, and also I wonder if like to her if she even believes it to be magic, or if it's just like, oh, it's just something that the
yeah,
pencil
she's
does
just
on
like,
its
oh,
own.
this is something that I do. I mean, she obviously she's aware that she can make things happen because they talk about it later, where she's like, oh, I wanted to rain, and then the pipe would burst and flood my room or whatever,
Mm,
or like I'd want to not hear things, and then I'd go deaf for 3 days, or whatever she was saying, but
right, right.
yeah, I feel like yeah, this sort of thing is just like idly passing the time, not really expecting to like be showing off for somebody or something like that.
And just to give the background of the other characters in the movie, so Bonnie Harper is played by Neve Campbell, of course, and she's her thing is she's extremely self conscious about her burn scars. Nancy Downs, played by Feruza Balk, she lives in a trailer with her mother and abusive stepfather and just hates her life. And then
Yeah,
Rochelle Zimmerman is played by Rachel True, and she's subjected to racist bullying by a group of mean girls. And one of them is led by Laura
Marsha,
Lizzie,
Marsha, Marsha.
Christine
Yeah,
Taylor. That
yes,
bitch.
yeah, bitch.
So yeah, those are the creepy like outcasts that no one really talks to, and they just kind of keep to themselves. Minus Laura. Laura's one of the popular mean girls.
Yeah, so they're just when Sarah's having lunch with Chris, he mentions that they're weird, they're witches, but they just look like the goth clique to me.
Yeah.
He invites her, which is so dumb. Like, oh, are you doing anything after school? No, I don't have anything going on. Oh, okay, well, I have football practice. Come watch
Come
me. Like,
watch me
what
play.
through a fence? Ugh, what kind of dumb shit is that?
Were you ever interested in a sport because you liked someone on the team?
No, but when I swam in high school, or maybe I wasn't, I think I might have known. There was this guy that I was into in middle school. I had a
Mm.
huge crush on him. He ended up going to a different high school, and I might have known that he swam. I don't remember if I knew if he swam, but I did run into him when I swam once. And at the time, I was at the height of my high school hotness pretty much because I was swimming. And oh boy, did I try and show off as much as I could.
So did you get into swimming because of him?
No, I don't really remember. I'm pretty sure it was just a friend that was just like, "Come, I'm on the swim team. Come join it with me."
Oh,
And I
okay.
was just like, "Okay." And then coincidentally, we competed against his team at some point, and he was there.
That's funny. Trying to show off.
He didn't know he was missing.
So that's why I was asking is because I wasn't sure if this was actually a thing, but even Brenda was like, no guy, no hot, attractive person could ever get me to like sports. That's what she was saying. Because she just is not into sports at all.
Yeah. No. I mean, I don't think I ever like went to games for a guy or anything like that. So Sarah is watching. She actually goes like a dumbass, and she's watching Chris play,
Hmm.
and then Bonnie, Nancy, and Rochelle come up, and they're just like, whatever he said is probably not true. Like he's a slut. And it's funny because he kept saying like at the lunch he was like, oh, I wouldn't know from personal experience, but Nancy's a slut and Bonnie's a weirdo and like whatever he says like,
Hmm.
but I wouldn't know from personal experience. And then after school, and like they come and they're like, oh, he's a slut and he's a jerk. And Nancy's like, he spreads disease. I know from personal experience.
Oh, damn. Yeah, so you can tell, like, I don't know if this could be, if it might come off as like her kind of defending her territory sort of thing, like, don't talk to him because like I used to date him and I might still like him, or if it's just like a fuck that guy, he's dead to me.
I think it's more like a fuck that guy. He's an asshole and he's dead to me. But she does kind of try and like come on to him later,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't, I think it's just a revenge thing though.
No
Like she
matter
doesn't
how much
like
shit she
him. She just
talks.
wants to get back at him. Yeah. Because he embarrassed her at some point.
Quick shout out to How Soon Is Now by the Smiths, because that song is the shit.
It's not by the Smiths in this movie.
Oh, what?
It's by somebody, I can't remember who it was, but it's by somebody else. And they covered the song specifically for this movie. And like, I don't think they did like any other song that
But
was popular.
that was a good song though.
Yes, but the Smiths do have their version. It's done by Love Spit Love in this movie, and sounds identical to the Smiths version.
That's the one that they use for Charmed, and I actually might like that version a little bit better.
Do they use the Smiths one for Charmed? I thought they used the
No,
same
they
one
use
as
the
the Craft.
love, yeah, Love Spit Love. I feel like it's a little less whiny and it's kind of more grungy feeling.
Yeah, so then the girls, they convince her to join them, and she pretty much does. And at first, she joins them for a little bit. What they warned comes true when she actually goes and hangs out with Chris.
I don't know what it is about Skeet, but he just kind of looks evil, doesn't he? Like
He
he's
just, yeah, he looks like a jerk.
a natural born villain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess he's definitely after one thing, and when he doesn't get it, he's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna spread lies about you then.
Like typical TV guy behavior.
We totally has sex.
And it was horrible.
Oh, I forgot that he said
That's
it was
how he
bad.
goes about it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
He said she was the worst slay he ever had or whatever. And, Nancy's like, told you that he was going to do this because he did the same thing about me. Obviously, he turns into a giant a-hole at this point. I can't actually say it because the kids are nearby. And I think at this point, she kind of fully joins the coven, if you will,
And what
as
was
their fourth.
their reasoning for like wanting to recruit her? Because what does it mean to have a fourth?
Yeah, they had to complete the circle. Apparently, four is the magic number in witchcraft, where they had to have the four. They have to have the north, south, east, and west.
And the elements. Was this when they run into that vagrant again?
Well, at some point, they go shopping for some supplies. When they're walking down the street after doing their shopping, the vagrant with the snake still has a snake, has a new snake, I guess, shows up again. And he's like, hey, I remember you. He's like, I had a dream about you. And in the dream, you were dead. And Sarah's like super freaked out by this. So she starts running. And they run across the other three girls run across the street, and she's still kind of on the other side. But this vagrant, like wanders into the street going after her,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all kind of staring at him. I think the girls are still on the other side because she ran across the street, right? But regardless, he's in the middle of the street, and they all look at him, and apparently they were all thinking, "Oh my god, he's gonna get hit," and then he got hit,
Hmm.
and so they all go running, and they have this little kind of secret hideout area in nature with some couches on the ground.
Yeah.
We all thought he was gonna get hit, right? Like we made it happen. And they're like, "Oh my god, with the four of us, we can make things happen." Kind of attitude.
He was actually dead, right? Is that what
I
they
think so.
were
Like
alluding to?
because they showed him like going under the vehicle.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if it was ever confirmed if they actually manifested that car to hit the guy, but do you think they actually caused it, or was it coincidence?
For a while, it seems like you don't really know one way or the other if it's coincidence or if they're making things happen. But they end up going like way they take a whole bus and like go way out into nature, and they start casting some spells as the four of them.
Doing some witch shit.
They do some witch shit, yeah. And Sarah, she basically asks well, Menon is their like deity,
Hmm.
and the way that Nancy puts it is that if God and the devil were playing football, Menon is the stadium and the sun.
So he's powerful.
So he's like nature, the universe. I don't know. It's just like everything else.
Hmm.
And I looked it up. Check this out. This is cool. I looked it up, and they made up a deity for the movie, because for the movie they had a pagan advisor, and the advisor advised that they don't use any real,
Real stuff.
yeah, because it would be dangerous.
Right, right.
So
That's
they made
cool.
a fictional deity for the movie, and it's cool that they respected like the real beliefs.
Yeah, trying to make it as similar as possible, but like still took the advice of the advisor. It sounds like the advisor was taking it serious. Hey, you brought me in to protect you guys, and I'm just trying to do my job.
Hmm. Yeah, so Sarah basically asked Manon, she wants Chris to like her, which I don't know why she still gives him the time of day, but I guess it's high school girl shit.
Because he's hot.
So she wants, yeah, I don't know. She wants Chris to like her.
I guess.
Bonnie wants to be beautiful on the inside and out. So basically she wants her burn scars to go away.
But
Um,
wouldn't beauty internally mean that she'd be a better person?
yeah, but we'll find out what happens.
It's mostly surface, yeah.
But she keeps asking for like beauty inside and out. Like she says that several times.
But I think it's going off of what she's actually asking in her head, which is just like I just want to be beautiful on the outside.
She just wants to be hot.
Yeah.
Rochelle wants to stop being bullied by this racist ass bitch ass girl, and then
That C word.
Nancy, I know, Nancy, she kind of just asks for what, the power of Menon,
Yeah, she wants all of it.
and the other girls are like, she just wants to stop being white trash, which I think is part of it,
Yeah.
because her life kind of sucks with her stepfather.
That kind of like sets in motion for her to get her powers, I feel like.
Yeah. So, well, after this day, they start noticing that things are happening. Like Chris starts following Sarah around like a little sad love struck puppy.
Hyper interested in her.
I know, he's like, oh, can I sit with you in mass? And she's like, yeah, hold my books and Bonnie's books or whatever.
And
And
they make
like
him sit
he's
next
like
to them.
he sits with her. I know. And then he's like his friends just start teasing him, like calling him like Stepford boy or something. He's just sitting there kind of staring at them like off in another world, and Sarah has to be like, pay attention, and then he looks forward, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not with it anymore because he's just so preoccupied with being in Sarah's presence. And then Bonnie, she's doing some sort of like experimental treatment to get rid of her scars, and they just basically like slough off her back, and her back is beautiful.
Dude, that scene when they were doing the procedure, that made me cringe. That shit looked
I know
painful.
it's traumatizing. Like that, I remember that scene being very memorable to me as a kid.
Really uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Scar tissue is kind of sensitive anyway, and it's like stabbing a needle into it.
Yeah,
Ah,
and then it's like, oh, it's harder than like the rest of the skin, and yeah, well, anyway, it sucks. But yeah, like they say the procedure works, and that her scars fall off. And
yeah.
then for Rochelle, they actually like they steal some of Laura's hair and like braid it into her hair for her spell. And the next day, like Laura's hair starts falling out, and she just basically goes bald. Like it's like all falling out in the shower, like after
So
swimming.
that means that part of the spell, it kind of needed some extra finessing. They needed to have like a strand of her DNA and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I know they did extra stuff too, because when they were braiding the hair, Laura's hair into Rochelle's hair, Nancy was doing some more spell with Bonnie, and she was like, Manon, take my scars, And it was after
Okay.
that like her scars fell off. So like it looks like they did some extra stuff.
Except for Sarah. It seems like that one was immediate.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like
And then
Nancy might have
Nancy's took the
done.
longest.
Yeah, man. Whatever did else? I feel like she might have done something extra, but she was like upset that her spell, quote unquote, wasn't working.
She was low key jealous. She saw everyone else was getting their gift, and she was just like, "Man, what the fuck?"
Yeah, and then
I will say though, out of everyone, I feel like the love spell is such a trademark witch spell to use.
Right?
It never ends well.
Always one of those. But finally, like something starts working for Nancy because her stepfather is abusing her mom, and she starts yelling like stop it, and then she gives him a really hard stare, like in Paddington. It's called a hard stare.
Ooh.
But and he has a heart attack and dies.
Shit like blows up too. Like, doesn't the microwave explode and all that stuff, and the
Yeah,
lights
she makes
explode?
like there's like an electrical surge or something, and everything explodes, and then her stepdad dies, and then it turns out that he had a pretty decent life insurance plan. So they come into a bunch of money. They get like a fancy high rise apartment. They buy all this new furniture and this jukebox with only Connie Francis songs on it.
That's wild. So I loved this how they did this because obviously the mom was distraught, but once she found out about the money, she immediately forgot about him.
Oh yeah, he was an asshole anyway.
Yeah.
But things are finally starting to work for her, for Nancy, obviously, but it's not enough.
This is what happens when you give money to people that don't know, like they've never had this amount of money and they don't know how to manage it, and so they just
I
splurge
know, so they just
immediately.
like spend it all, yeah, and then like they don't do anything else with it to like make it grow, and then it runs out.
No.
Um, yeah, so I don't know, like it's kind of like when that vagrant got hit by the car, like things kind of started going out of control. Chris becomes like more and more infatuated with Sarah. Starts like showing up in the middle of the night. Like he shows up at 3 o'clock in the morning once, and he's like, "Why didn't you answer the phone?" And she's like, "Dude, it's 3 a.m."
Oh.
And her dad comes out and is like, "You need to get out of here."
That was a freaking awkward scene. The dad comes out and shines the flashlight right in his face, and he's just like, "Huh? What? Who's
Ever
there?"
since the love spell starts working, all of that is so awkward. Like his whole puppy dog.
Yeah.
Oh, I just wanna. Can I sit with you in the house?
Always just seems kind of disoriented, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's really weird. But they go back to the witch store because Sarah wants to ask the owner of the store how to stop the love spell. And she's basically like, once you open floodgates, you can't really close it. You just have to let it run its course.
Damn.
So that's not really an answer, but they end up coming across this book. She ends up showing them this book about Manon. And Nancy's like, okay, I want to buy this book. And the shop lady is like, this is too much for you. But she's
Lirio,
like, no,
right?
I want the book. Just, yeah, she's like, sell me the damn book. So she sells it to her, and they go to the beach. They gather the stuff, they go to the beach, they invoke the spirit.
So, really quick, I was asking Brenda if we had a store like this like occult shop, would she go? Brenda straight up told me like I would live there if we had one nearby.
I would go. I wouldn't live there, but I would go.
Maybe do your own invocation of the spirit.
Maybe not this spirit. This spirit seems a little strong, but
How do you feel about Manon? For me, I feel like early on, you kind of get the sense that this deity that they worship and they devote themselves to seems kind of evil, right? Like kind of malevolent.
not necessarily. I feel like, but I do feel like he's kind of like he picks and chooses, right? Like he decides to end up, you know, bestowing his gift upon Nancy.
Because it's almost like one of those like wishmaster sort of things, and I feel like they have these wishes and they get them, but then there's like fine print that comes with each of the wishes or the gifts that they get.
Yeah, sort of. Well, because I mean, at some point, when he gives his gift to Nancy, apparently the whole thing is if you take advantage of it and lose control, then he'll get somebody else to bring you back in check, which is what he does with
Mm.
Sarah. So there's a little bit of checking and balancing to it, or maybe I think it was kind of their fault though, because Lyria warned them like everything that you do comes back threefold. So if you put bad stuff out there, you're going to get bad stuff back. And I feel like, I mean, obviously Sarah has her own stuff with Chris, but other than that, she's kind of the only one who gets it and like is kind of like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Was Bonnie doing anything that bad though? She was just kind of just feeling herself. You know, she was comfortable in her skin for the first time.
Well, but the thing is, like, I mean, she kept saying like beautiful inside and out, but we know that she really just wanted to be hot. And so once, the scars come off, she becomes really super full of herself and becomes a bitch. Which I
Mm.
guess you could kind of understand. Like, if she was just kind of like, well, after living my entire childhood as a monster, like, obviously that
She wanted to live a
she's feeling
little.
real good right now. Yeah. And so, like, I can sort of get that, but it's true. Like, she, kind of went, that's how it went overboard with her, is that she, like, went the totally other direction and became a total bitch. It was kind of going that way with all of them. Like, they were just getting really full of themselves because they have all this outside power now that nobody else has.
Especially Nancy. She started getting like really power hungry, right?
With Nancy, like, this is where you finally realize, like, this is legit, because once they invoke the spirit, they fall asleep on the beach, and when they wake up the next morning, Nancy's literally walking on water.
That shit was creepy.
Yeah, and then all these sharks washed up on shore, and she's like, "This is my gift." But I wonder if that was really a gift for her, or if that was like part of the it coming back threefold. But that was how she interpreted it.
I wonder if like she always kind of had this ability, but like the fact that she's very volatile, and so I think
Yeah.
the powers are reflective of that.
Yeah, and well, yeah. Here's the thing where, like, I like Manon is a little bit chaotic, because if I was him, I wouldn't have picked Nancy to bestow my gifts upon. And eventually he kind of backtracks and is like, "Oh, let me give it to Sarah instead,"
Mm.
which I think was the more obvious first choice. But maybe he just, works with whatever he has, and she's the one who kind of was like asking for that. Yeah, and it was kind of after that where, like, Sarah's like, "You guys are all getting kind of overboard."
And she's getting a little spooked herself.
Yeah, and oh, it definitely kind of comes to a head, because at some point her and Chris hang out, which I think is dumb.
It kind of looked like they went up to like make out lane or something.
Yeah, I don't even know why she would go, but he fully tries to rape her, and thankfully she escapes. But that was kind of like that was where that came to a head, and she's just like, "Fuck this!" Like,
It was starting to get to that point where when you love something so much you want to kill it, you know, like how some
yeah,
people feel that way. I feel like he was getting there.
yeah, he was definitely like, "This is meant to be, and I'm gonna make it happen." And the next step was, if I can't have you, nobody can.
Yeah.
There's a party, and they go to the party, and Chris is there. Oh, they learn how to glamour, so, like, they learn how to change their appearances.
Oh, when she was changing her hair. Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah, so,
right.
like, Sarah was changing her. At first, she changed her eyes, and they were just like, "Oh, well, you can do that with contacts. That's not a big deal." But she's like, "Fine." So she changes her hair to blonde, and everyone's like, "Do me, do me."
The CGI was a little weird here though.
Yeah, that was a little, yeah. So, but yeah, Nancy goes to the party fully glamored as Sarah.
Oh, let's not forget they also did the stiff as a board, Liza Feather stiff as a board
Oh
thing. Oh,
yeah,
which was a
yeah.
cool scene.
And that, oh my, I feel like that's like in the '90s, like that's a game that every, like, girl group plays. But of course, it never works because nobody's real witches, right?
Was that in
But in
between
this
the
case,
pillow
it totally
fights
works.
or
Yes,
the incessant pillow fights?
there pillow fight, light as feather, stiff as a board, makeover, bed.
More pillow fight. Staples. I mean, that was like an iconic scene for this movie, and I just want to make sure we definitely mention that because that was a cool scene. And I think if we could actually do shit like that, that'd be freaking fun.
I know that would be fun. Oh, and the one part I forgot to mention is when they go into the forest to do their first spells as the four of them with their whole circle.
Mhm.
When they get off the bus and the guy is like, "Watch out for the weirdos," and she's like, "Mister, we are the weirdos."
I remember that line specifically from the trailer.
Right? And then the way she, like, smiles at him and stuff, iconic.
She pulls down her glass and then gives him like a little wink.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's what I loved about Nancy was like she was really cheeky and I mean she was fun to be around, but also I think she could be a little much at times. She was just really
Of
intense.
course. Yeah, she was always like the most, like, unapologetically goth one in the
Yeah.
group.
Yep.
I love it. Oh man, but yeah, just basically Nancy starts going just absolutely crazy.
Hmm.
So she tries to punish Chris. She goes as Sarah and like starts seducing him.
Uses the glamour.
Yeah, and so like he looks at her and he's like, "What?" And then when he looks back, it's Nancy on top of him and not Sarah. He's like, "What the fuck?" It was a good scene.
But this shows you like different ways of like how you can abuse your power.
Oh yeah, abuse it. She does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like how he's just like, "Oh, finally you've come to your senses and you've come to me," but it wasn't actually.
Damn.
But oh yeah, so he when he realizes it's Nancy and not Sarah, he gets understandably upset.
Yeah.
I mean, he was basically about to get raped and he didn't know it.
True. Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of they kind of gloss over that aspect of it, but yeah, like she was straight up
Yeah.
taking advantage of him. Some people might say like, well, an eye for an eye because he was trying to do that to Sarah. In this case, you don't really fight fire with fire.
No. I mean, he definitely like deserved whatever was coming to him, but like not this way. And especially not what happens next because he pisses Nancy off and she
Ooh,
pushes him out of a window and kills him.
homie, don't play that. Because he was he saying? He was just like, "You're just jealous of us" or something. And so, dude, that's like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like she fucking just flips out right here.
Yeah, she was like jealous. And that was so good too. Like just her craziness. She's so good at being
Her
crazy.
fucking feet, she's floating off the ground. Her like toes are dragging. Oh, like
Yeah,
that
like her
shit.
toes are
That
dragging.
shit was sick.
Iconic.
Yeah.
I love it. Like these are those scenes that stuck with me like throughout my teenagehood.
Before we move on from this, now I do want to kind of like stay on the scene a little bit longer because I feel like it's a more of a complicated scene than a lot of people might give it credit for. So as you're saying, like understandably, like Chris was upset by all that whole situation. He's still in love with Sarah, and Nancy is tricking him by pretending to be Sarah with the glamour and all that stuff, right?
Mhm.
It was revealed earlier that Nancy had actually, slept with Chris before the events of the movie, and it seems like Chris kind of like kicked her to the curb or whatever, and so she's like really bitter about that.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if she was just kind of tricking him to like just embarrass him and be a dick, or if she still like low key had feelings and she was willing to get with him in any way, even if it meant pretending to be someone else.
Mhm.
I felt like there were some underlying feelings there, and that's why she gets so butthurt when he's just immediately like rejects her after like the glamour wears off and the real Sarah walks in. He's upset at her, at Nancy, and then he triggers her by calling her jealous of them. And I think everything just comes to a boil, and it just like boils over. And in a sense, kind of goes like full villain mode here. There's no turning back after this.
Definitely that. I disagree. I feel like she was just I mean, I definitely think there was bitterness there, but I don't think she was still into him. I think she just wanted to get back at him in the same way that he got her. And so, what better way to do that than to seduce him back? But obviously, she couldn't do that as herself. I mean, I feel like she might have also been. Well, maybe I don't fully disagree because it does seem like she was like into it.
At first he was rejecting her but like putting her down gently, but then she kept going for it and like going for it, and she was almost kind of desperate before she used the glamour. She kind of came off desperate to me,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like the last resort. Well, if I can't have you in like my actual form, then I'm just going to give you what you want. And then that's when she just turns into Sarah.
Yeah.
She was probably getting off on it. She's probably like, damn, this is kind of hot.
Yeah, it did seem like that. But definitely, obviously, revenge stuff going on.
Oh, definitely. Like she for sure, like after she had her way with them, I think she planned on kicking him to the curb. But he
Yeah,
still,
yeah.
after all that, even after being like all powerful, he still has like this like weird hold over her, and he still has the audacity
Mm-hmm.
to like reject her again, kick her to the curb again, and still like make her feel self-conscious about herself, which she hated. She wants to be powerful so desperately.
Yeah, and she wanted to make him feel that way, but he still managed to make her feel that way all over again.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so she just got rid of
it
him.
was a little
She's like,
painful.
fuck
Yeah,
this. Those wounds, they cut deep.
yeah.
That's why I think that was such an awesome scene for me, and that may have been my favorite scene of the entire movie.
The payback, the
Yeah.
fatal payback. Oh well, he got his, and he died.
And that was the final straw for Sarah too, because she was already kind of uncomfortable being around Nancy and the rest of the girls, but taking someone's life, that's way too far.
Yeah, so definitely. So she bows out, but they're kind of like, you don't get to leave us so easily. So, Sarah tries to bind Nancy, but Nancy knows she's being bound,
Hmm.
which was a little bit scary.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the rest of the rest of them just fully turn on Sarah and start tormenting her in any way they can,
Shit, in her
which is many ways
dreams,
since they're freaking witches. Yeah, like in her dreams.
and you're hallucinating when you're awake as well.
Yeah, so like they're not only tormenting her in her dreams, but then they like use glamours and show a news story where her family got on a plane, or what was it that they were trying they made it look like Sarah left and they were chasing her.
Right, right.
And so they got on a plane, like Sarah, they thought Sarah was going back to San Francisco, so they got on a plane and the plane crashed and they died.
Damn.
Sarah, oh, they at some point in the movie, and like Nancy mentions that she would imagine that there were like snakes and bugs everywhere, and then she would open her eyes and they were there. So they do that to Sarah, snakes, bugs everywhere, and they start like coming in like the grates, the
Oh,
vents,
out of the woodwork.
yeah, just everywhere. And so that was fun. They're trying to drive her to, well, to backtrack slightly, at some point in the beginning, towards the beginning when they first started hanging out, they noticed that Sarah has scars on her wrist. She has attempted suicide before. We should put a trigger warning at the beginning of this
Ooh,
episode.
there's the S word, slut. I mean,
That one too.
and I remember Bonnie was like, "Oh, you even did it the correct way, like vertical up the
Yeah, you
arm."
even did it the right way. And Rochelle's like, the right way? How do you know the right way?
I did hear that that's the more effective way to do it.
Yeah, because it goes along the actual. Because if you could just go this way, you're just kind of going across
Yeah.
everything. If you go this way, you put a long slit in your actual vein and you bleed out faster. So,
When I see that in shows and movies and stuff, like, that gets me.
hmm anyway, backing away from that, Sarah has attempted it once before, and so she has the scars left over. And in their current torment, the three girls are trying to drive Sarah to commit suicide again. And at some point, they start telling her, just kill
Just
yourself.
do it. You know, when I first saw this movie as a kid, I didn't quite know what the Coven was trying to achieve. Like, I thought maybe they were just attempting to drive her mad with all these visions and
Or,
stuff
yeah,
and the fear.
or just scare her or whatever. But obviously, watching this as an adult, it's a lot more morbid. They're actually trying to get her to die. Um, some point in all her fear and her her fear and her grief, she ends up invoking the spirit of Manon herself.
Whoa. Almost kind of unintentionally, right?
Well, no, she starts like saying the chant or whatever while she's like laying on the
I
floor.
don't think she was asking for his power, like equal power to fight off Nancy necessarily. I think she was just kind of asking him to help her.
Yeah, yeah. So he not only like gives her the power, he tells her, they've been given this gift and they're abusing it, and he's done with them.
Damn.
Yeah. So she comes back and she starts kind of tormenting them once he's given her the power and they've had their little meeting.
Uses the glamour in the mirror for them, right?
Yeah,
For
and
Bonnie and Rochelle.
just all kinds of like she starts messing with them in different ways. And yeah, so like Rochelle thinks she's losing her hair like Laura when she looks in the
Mhm.
mirror. Bonnie looks in the mirror and her scars are back.
Maybe even worse because it's on her face now, I think.
Oh yeah, like yeah, and everything comes back threefold.
Right,
So that's
yeah.
that. That's that. So it's a lot worse. And then they both like run off. Like
This is
they're,
smart too, because it's the whole divide and conquer thing. So she knows that they're the weak links, and once she breaks
yeah,
them off, then Nancy would be a sitting duck, essentially.
yeah. So she gets them to just run off, and then it's just Sarah v Nancy.
This was a pretty intense fight scene, though. I will admit that.
Yeah, so they're like throwing each other around with magic and stuff, which is interesting.
I mean, they probably filmed it where they're laying on like a flat surface, but like the way that the camera's oriented, it looks like Nancy flies at Sarah up against the wall, and she's mounting her, but like up against the wall, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, that was creepy.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite right, like uncanny valley kind of thing,
Hmm.
and so it always came off as creepy to me.
Yeah, it's unsettling, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's a little, it's, but I mean, in the end, Sarah is able to defeat Nancy and binds her again, but this time successfully. Um, and she ends up going mad. Cut to the next scene. I think so, well, like Sarah's like preparing to like just go on a road trip or something. Like I don't think she's leaving, but she's like packing up a car,
Shit. If I was her, I would leave. That seems kind of traumatic.
right? But Bonnie and Rochelle, like their powers are gone, and they visit Sarah. To me, it seemed it like it wasn't necessarily like them trying to reconcile. It was them trying to like feel out like does she still have powers or
Yeah.
did she
Is she
lose them
like
like
us?
us? Yeah. So they come and they're just like, "Hey, how's it going? By the way, do you still have your powers?"
It kind of shows you that they didn't really learn their lesson.
No.
They're still bitches.
Yeah. And she like makes some storm clouds appear or whatever, and they're like, "Yeah, she still has her powers."
Dude, she's like Storm from X-Men.
Yeah, they're like they she doesn't really give him anything, so they're just like, "Oh, she must have lost her powers too." But then she makes a tree. She makes a lightning strike break a tree in front of them, and she kind of warns them off.
While still showing that she's still a force to be reckoned with.
But she doesn't. She knows how to not abuse the power, which is why she,
She gets to keep it.
Menon really chose her this time. And she's like, "Don't end up like Nancy." And then it finally shows you that she's gone absolutely batshit.
She was already, right, with the power, but now that she
Yeah,
doesn't have the
yeah,
power, I feel like that just drove her even further into madness.
yeah. So she's all like scratched up, and they have her restrained to a bed, and she's like flailing around, and she's like, "I can fly, I can
I
fly,
swear I can
I can
fly, I can
fly."
fly. That's crazy. That sucks too, because it's like she had it all. Nancy had it all for a bit, for a brief moment, and then it was all taken away from her.
Yeah, but she couldn't. It wasn't enough, and it came back to her threefold.
Did they ever explain what happened to Nancy's mom, or did she go back to the trailer park, or we just don't know?
I think she's still living in that high rise.
Is she? Dang. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any reason to believe that she's not. She's still listening to her Connie Francis.
I know. Damn, and she probably doesn't miss Nancy honestly, because Nancy is probably just a handful.
Yeah, I think she loved her, but like the way she was, where she was like, "Let's have a housewarming party," and Nancy was like, "No, mom," and just shut the door in her face. Rude.
But I do feel like by the end, I got the sense that the true nature of Manon came out, and that's where you get confirmation that he wasn't necessarily evil to begin with. The rituals for him may appear evil or creepy or whatever, but I felt like the deity seemed to be more of like a neutral party, right? And that
Yeah,
he would help his believers if they asked for it, and they were genuine, but he would then punish those that abused his gifts.
yeah. I mean, he would give them a chance to do with it whatever they were gonna do,
Yeah.
but if they went overboard, then he's like, "Nope, you're done. I give you a chance and you blew it. You're done."
And then yeah, they end up in a worse situation. It's a gamble, honestly. Like you risk having all this power bestowed upon you, but man, if you fuck up even a little bit, then you're going to be in a worse spot than when you started. So
Yep,
is it worth it?
because of the threefold rule. Thank you, threefold rule.
And that is a wrap on the craft. If you made it to the end of our podcast, then you now harness the power of Manon.
Cool,
Any final thoughts or closing comments?
man. I Well, what was the moral of the story? Like, do unto others, but don't abuse it. Yeah, or you'll end up in a psychiatric hospital insisting that you can fly. I'm glad that wasn't the reward at the end of the episode.
The craft kind of comes off as like a cautionary tale, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like it though. It's a fun witchy movie.
Kind of a dumb teen drama at the same time, kind of mixed in there.
Yes. Next, we'll have to do practical magic.
Whoa. I mean, speaking of that movie too, I feel like The Craft is just a classic. Those like older witchy movies, I feel like Hocus Pocus, right? They're all classics.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
certainly think this one holds up. It was super creepy as a kid. There are just a lot of
I
parts where I'm just
know,
like,
and
man, this is I don't know. This movie is making me feel uncomfortable.
it still does that to me, which I like. Feruza Balk is so good at being creepy and being crazy.
Oh, she's so fucking good. Like I will say that Nev Campbell may arguably be the most successful star to come out of this movie, but I feel like Fairuza Balk was the standout in this movie. Like she was the star of the movie.
Absolutely. And I loved her in it, and I know she's still around doing small things, but damn, was she so good during this time. In that movie, in others like Waterboy or whatever.
American History X. And she just makes a great goth. Like she looks great as a goth.
She does.
And I think she also makes a believable and horrific witch as well.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Like I know that, other goth influencers and stuff will, do like Nancy looks here and
Mm-hmm.
there, and yeah, she's classic. She's iconic,
She was a badass.
and we love her. Yeah.
This might be my favorite role of hers that I've seen out of all the ones.
Yeah, me too. Definitely agree with that one.
It's unfortunate too because it's kind of one of those like live long enough to see yourself become the villain sort of thing. So like she was one of the protagonists. She started off as like a good guy and then just eventually transitioned into being the main villain.
Oh yeah, that is very interesting how she, like you said, starts off the good guy, starts off the ally, and then becomes the villain. But I guess that just goes to show, like, she was never fully genuine. She
Mm.
was just all about herself,
Right, exactly.
gaining her power herself, and once she got it, that was
That's all she
it.
wanted. No one
Yeah,
else mattered. Now, since we brought up the other movies, what is your all-time favorite witch movie?
I'm thinking. What are some other options? Obviously, practical magic. I'm trying to think. I feel like there's one other one that I might have liked more, but I can't think of. Since the craft is
The quintessential one?
the one that's in the front of my brain right now.
Yeah. Wicked?
No.
Kiki's Delivery Service?
Ooh, I love that movie. Matilda, does that count? No, that's just like a telekinesis movie. Yeah, it might have actually been Kiki's Delivery Service,
You think that might be your favorite one?
and then the craft. Yeah, I never liked practical magic quite as much as the craft.
Now, how's this stand up to Wicked then? Something more recent.
Well, Wicked, I don't know. I don't feel like I put them in the same category because one's a musical.
True.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I love that show.
Did you ever watch the movie though? Which I think came out the same year the TV show came out.
Yeah, and
It was whatever.
they always have to do that, like do the movie to go along with the rest of the show.
I mean, I think it was a totally different feel though.
Yeah, I mean, she's like, it's for if I can remember correctly, she's like traveling. She's not at
Mm,
home. She's in another country, and she meets a guy, and this and that. Oh, here we go. The cover of the VHS
hell yeah. See, that's just such a instantly recognizable box art as well.
with the lightning, like you said. You can't see it though. Here we go.
Blinding flash behind them. I don't know. I'm just digging like everything about The Craft. I think that might be my favorite witch movie. I think The Craft's the shit.
I love Nancy's face on the cover there.
Kind of like seductive, but also kind of creepy at the same time.
Yes, exactly. Definitely, yeah. Classic from my young hood, and still good today. I've actually seen it twice recently because I watched it, I want to say like a month or two ago, and then of course I watched it for this podcast, so
Right.
it's like doubly
Heck
fresh.
yeah.
And I watched it just because I wanted to, so But that was actually how I discovered that, because the version of that song. I
Mm.
know the Smiths version, like that one pops up in my Spotify every once in a while. When I'm
Yeah,
listening to
and
my
it's on the
old
radio.
tried and true, yeah, goth soundtrack, um, or playlist. But yeah, when that song starts in the movie and it says, by whoever it was by, I
Yeah,
can't
Love
remember
Spit
now.
Love, I think.
There you go, Love Spit Love, and I was like, what? And then I had to look it up, and yeah, like I said, they did it. They covered that song specifically for the movie.
I think I do like the Love Spit Love cover better. And that's the one that they used for the intro for Charmed. And I think that was my
Hmm.
introduction to it.
Yeah.
Like I was mentioning before, it's a little less whiny because it's the I am human and I need to be loved. I could do without that, and that's not in the cover. So I like
Oh,
the fact
okay.
that it's a little bit more heavy, more grungy feeling.
Yeah, dang, I'm gonna have to listen to them back to back because, like, in my head they sound the same, but yeah, like when you talk about it, I'm like, oh yeah, he does do that, and because he has Morrissey has a pretty distinct voice.
Yeah. I appreciate both, but I think I like the other one a little bit better.
Yeah,
But you have the purists that are like, I only like originals. I don't like any covers of anything.
right. Yeah, I can never say that because I would hear covers of songs and not know that it was a cover. So I can pretty much never say that. So I ask you, do you have a favorite cover?
Cover, man. I'm sure I do.
I do have a favorite cover,
You
and it's
do.
always the same.
What's yours?
It is Darling Nikki, covered by the Foo Fighters, originally by Prince.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. I don't know. I will say I don't know a lot of Prince songs, so
Yeah, honestly, I'm not a huge Prince fan. I know a lot of people just absolutely love him. I have like maybe two or three songs of his that I like, but most of his stuff, when I hear it, I'm like, not my jam. But I do like both the original and the cover version of Darling Nikki, but I like the Foo Fighters version better because I love the Foo Fighters.
I think I have a couple that I like. One of the first ones that comes to mind is Holy Diver. I love the Killswitch Engage cover of the Dio song Holy Diver.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I've heard that.
And then the other one, well, one of the other ones, I like the Shiny Toy Guns cover of Major Tom.
Of course.
And then the other one that I can think of off the top of my head is I like the Marilyn Manson version of Tainted Love.
That is another
I'm
classic.
sure I lost a lot of fans with that, but I like what I like.
Nah, I feel like that's a classic from our generation.
We should actually do like a topic some at some point of our music tastes. I think that could be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
We could probably go on for a while talking about music.
Yeah, we could do an extra special music based non show or movie episode.
Yeah, just like a special feature talking about music or something.
Yeah, oh my gosh. So, you know how, it's like the 20th or 25th anniversary of The Used? 25th,
Mm.
I think.
Hmm.
So they recently did, I think I might have mentioned that they recently did, they've been touring doing their first three albums. So, like, they'll hit up a spot, they'll do the first three albums in 3 nights,
Nice.
and then they'll move on to the next spot. So it was actually funny. Like the night that they were doing their second album in LA, I was actually in LA, but for something else. But around the time I started listening to like their first couple albums, just as kind of a tribute and a throwback, and just remembering my roots because they were the first band that got me into
Emo.
emo rock. I love it as the elder emo that I am. But since they're kind of like, I feel like the emo stuff is kind of regaining a little bit of popularity. I know at least for a little while MCR did, but Hot Topic right now has a really great throwback used T-shirt that is similar to the used T-shirt I used to have,
Oh shit.
which I wish I still had because that would have been. I'm pretty sure I got rid of it, but because I can't find it. But oh man, that's throwback.
Oh, the heart that's like kind of pulling that branch down, sort of thing.
My gosh. Oh, I can't take. Like, it's not on this side. It's not on this side. Where the fuck is
Is
it?
that a noose around the heart?
No, it's a rope. I mean, it's not a noose. Like, it doesn't have like the noose knot on the. It's just a rope tied around it.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they were like alluding to it being a noose.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it is.
I didn't even catch that until now.
Huh. The noose knot is in the back.
Oh yeah, I see it now.
Damn, I have a noose tattooed on me now.
Dang, that's deep. Um, are you watching anything lately, film or TV?
I just finished the most recent season of Last of Us.
Ooh, as did I. Season 2.
Yeah, yeah,
You knew exactly what I was talking about when I was like, you're feeling yoked like Abby.
yeah. I actually haven't played the game, but Andrew has told me much about the physical differences between game Abby and show Abby.
You heard just as much from him that Brenda has heard from me.
Yeah, like I'm sure she's a great actress and stuff, and they made those decisions for whatever reasons they made. But Andrew was super like, what the hell? Like, that's not what she's supposed to look like at all. Like, in the game, she's like super duper buff, and
Yeah, and I know that like that's not the point of the game, like is for her to be buff or anything like that. That was just like one of the very distinct things about her. But because Andrew and I feel differently about the sequel game, right?
mm-hmm.
It's funny that it seems like from what you're describing, we feel the same about how we feel about the show.
That is so interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna look. I actually don't know. I'm gonna look up game Abby. She almost looks like a dude in the game. She has man arms.
I think there is a point where she is like side by side next to another guy, and I think her arms are actually bigger than his.
Oh yeah, we saw Thunderbolts in the theater, which we
Ooh,
liked.
okay. I still need to see that one.
Hey, you should.
I'm slacking. I think a lot of people it had potential to disappoint a lot of people, much like I feel like the Captain America one, Brave New World. I feel like I'm going in not really with a lot of expectations because I'm kind of expecting it to, if anything, be a sleeper hit like Guardians in a way where a lot of people were talking shit
Yeah,
about Guardians and they're like, "Who the fuck are these characters? No one gives a shit about them," and then they end up being really popular.
yeah. And now everybody, like now Groot is a common household name. Yeah. Did you mention what you've watched yet?
I haven't. So actually saw a couple movies. I saw Novocaine on Paramount Plus. It was pretty good. Like it wasn't like the best movie ever, but you know, it was a fun ride. It's kind of like a high octane sort of movie, kind of like was that one with Jason Statham, Crank or
Where you have
something
to
like
he
that.
has to keep his. Oh, okay.
You just always have to be in this adrenaline
Yeah,
state.
that sounds horrible.
But yeah, it's basically like that. Like he kind of becomes this like accidental superhero because he can't feel pain, and so he can do all this abusive shit to his body, and people are like punching him and kicking him and slicing him, and it doesn't really affect him.
Jeez.
But doesn't mean you can't die. You just don't feel
Yeah.
pain. I also saw Mickey 17 on Max
Ooh,
or
I wanted to see
HBO
that.
Max as it's called now.
Yeah. Is it good?
Mickey 17, I liked it. I can see why maybe a lot of people may not like it. A lot of it is a little slow, and it's got like the dark humor, and I mean
Yeah.
you kind of need to have a palate for that. But I think
We love
I think
dark
Robert
humor
Pattinson
here,
kills it.
so. Yeah, I was gonna say how'd Pattinson do in it? He does
Yeah, he
great.
always does a great job. He's always solid. If anything, I think it might just be a weaker story, if nothing else.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we wanted to see it in the theater, but we didn't get a chance. So I guess we'll have to catch it on Max.
Yeah, definitely. HBO Max. I have one more before we close out
Okay.
here. So I don't know if you've heard of this movie called Palo Alto, but I watched that on Plex,
No.
and that one's it's kind of like a coming of age story. It follows just like a few different teens and getting ready to leave high school within the next year or so. It's just them kind of living their lives, but it shows the complexity of the relationships and the fact that like the girl likes the guy but he doesn't know, and the guy likes the girl but she doesn't know, and then they kind of just like keep passing each other without
Like
actually
missing
like,
each other.
yeah, like they're at the same party but they're hanging out different groups, and then the groups kind of pull them away, sort of thing. It's really weird too because it's based off of James Franco's like short stories.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but that was pretty much it for me. So do you have anything else, or just close out?
Nah.
You can find Afflictionados podcast wherever you normally get your podcasts. New episodes drop on the first Saturday of each month, 5 a.m. Pacific. If you like what you heard, leave us a like, comment, or subscribe. Thank you all for listening and joining Stephanie and I. This has been Afflictionados podcast, episode 55, The Craft, and we'll see you all next time. Really quick, I did want to say that since you brought up Sherry, well, I mean, Cameron was a guest on our show. He was on Jurassic Park. So
Yeah,
his
that's
mom,
Sherry's
Sherry,
Cameron's mom.
what I really love about her, and I was actually thinking about this earlier today, is I loved how she loved so intensely. And so if
Yeah,
you
she
knew her,
always.
you would know what I was talking about, because I don't
I'm
I
sure
remember
she's
for
still like that.
I remember for us, she'd be like, "Boys, get off the trampoline." And then, like, when we come inside, like, we're just like, "Oh shit, like, what happened?" And then she's just like, "I just want to make sure that you guys don't get hurt. I love you guys so much." And
Yeah,
she always did stuff like that. She'd be like, "Who wants pizza?"
yeah, she was always very intense with it, and
Yeah,
that's definitely a very distinct like Sherry thing.
yeah. You never took it to heart. Like, you're just like, yeah, like, oh yeah, that's just how she
That
is.
was just the way she like. It was always like a joyful intensity, though. It wasn't like you thought she was mad at you. You know.